All right, let's talk about the steps of bank recon. Okay, this is one of those ones that can be very daunting because there's a lot of moving pieces that you need to keep up with. So I'm going to try to make this as simple as I can as we go through these to kind of show you my way of doing it, and hopefully this will help you out as you go through. But when a problem asks you to do a bank recon, it's really important that you understand that there's two sides to a bank reconciliation. You have what's called the bank side and the book side. So let's start there. Okay, when it asks you to do that, we're going to start with a bank side and a book side. So there's my bank side, there's my book side. Okay, and each of those has the same starting place respectively. The bank side and the book side are going to start with what we call the unadjusted balances. The unadjusted balances come from their respective place. So the unadjusted bank balance comes from your bank statement. Okay, so we're going to start there. Unadjusted bank balance, whatever it may be, and that comes from your the balance on your bank statement. The book side is going to do the same thing, except it's going to be the unadjusted book balance. That's going to come from your books. It's going to be comes from your cash T table. Now, ideally, you would want these to be the same. Rarely are they ever be the same because of what we just talked about in the last video. So now let's go through some of these commonalities and kind of want to show you how this bank reconciliation works, questions that you need to ask. So first, let's talk about deposits in transit. Again, deposits in transit are the ones that we got a check that we're going to deposit in the bank. So once we got it, we went ahead and put it in our books. It just hasn't went through the bank yet. It hasn't been processed by the bank yet. So we got to figure out where we're going to put it. So let's ask ourselves these series of questions. I'm going to start with the book side. Has it affected my book balance yet? Yes, it has. Why do I know that? Is because when I got the checks, I put them in my books. They haven't gone to the bank yet. Okay, so yeah, they've affected my bank balance. That means that unadjusted book balance right there has already been affected by this deposit in transit. I don't need to do anything to the book side. Okay, that's question one. Let's go to the next one. Has it affected my bank balance already? Well, no, because it hasn't gone through the bank yet. There's my key right there. So no, it hasn't. All right, so the next question. How did it affect my book balance? What did it do to my cash balance? If it affected my book balance, which we already said it did, what did it do? Well, when I put it in my books, it made my cash go up. So it makes my balance go up. So what do I need to do to the bank side to match the book side? I need to add it to the bank side. And so therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say add deposits in transit of however much that money is, however much that amount was. Okay? That's deposit in transit. Now let's look at the next one, outstanding checks. Same questions. Has it affected my book balance or my book side? Yes, it has, because the moment I wrote those checks, I wrote in my books. Okay. Has it affected the bank yet? No, because they haven't got it yet. It hasn't gone through the bank yet. How did it affect my book side? Well, it made my cash go down when I recorded it in my books. So what do I need to do to the bank side in order to match the book side? I also need to make it go down or subtract out outstanding checks. So I'll say less outstanding checks for that amount. That's how outstanding checks work. All right, let's look at another one. Like I said, sometimes the banks collect AR for us. They collect accounts receivables. Instead of the customer sending it directly to us and then we taking it to the bank, they just send it directly to the bank. And when that happens, I don't know what's going to happen until after it's too late. Or after I get my bank statement. Okay, I haven't put it in my bank yet. So let's go through those questions. Has it affected the book side? No, it hasn't, because I didn't know anything about it. I couldn't put it in my books until I got my bank statement. Has it affected the bank balance? Yes, they got it. They have it. How did it affect my bank side? Well, when they received it, it made my cash go up. So what do I need to do to the book side in order to match it? Well, I need to make it go up. So I'm going to add AR collections. And there you go, add AR collections. Can you pause it just for 1 second? You don't have to stop it, just pause it. Here you go. Sometimes we earn interest in the bank. Our money's in the bank, so we're earning interest. We don't know we're going to get it until we get the bank statement. So let's go through those questions again. Has it affected our book yet? Well, no, it hasn't, because again, we didn't know it until we got the bank statement. Has it affected the bank yet? Well, yeah, they got it, and they're not going to send us a check and then we just turn around and put it back in the bank. They're just going to go ahead and put it into our account. So yes, it's affected our bank side. How did it affect our bank side? Well, it made our balance go up because it's the interest that we earned. So what do I need to do to the book side in order to match the bank side? I need to make it go up as well. So I'm going to say add interest earned. So that's what we're going to do, add interest earned for that amount. All right, another one, bank service fees. Again, sometimes the bank charges us to use their services. They're not going to send us a bill and us turn around and send them a check. They're just going to take it directly out of our bank. But we don't know they do that until they send us the bank statement. So let's go through those questions again. Has it affected our book balance? Well, no, because again, we didn't know it. We hadn't written in the book yet until we got the bank statement. Has it affected the bank? Yes, they took it directly out of our account. How did it affect our bank side, our bank balance? Well, it made it go down. They took it away. So what do we need to do to the book side in order to make it match the bank side? We need to also subtract it. So we will subtract or less bank service fees for that amount. Last common thing that we can see when it comes to bank reconciliations is everyone's favorite non-sufficient funds or a bounced check. Okay, somebody gave us a check that's not worth the paper it's written on. We assumed it was good when we got it, and so when we got it, we wrote it in the books as our cash went up. But when we took it to the bank, they said it bounced like a basketball and it's not worth anything. So we need to correct this, okay? So let's look at the questions and then be careful with these though, okay? So has it affected our book balance already? Yes, because when we got the check, we thought it was good and we wrote it into our books as it increased the cash. However, did it affect it correctly? No, because we said it added something and it didn't. So it wasn't in there correctly. All right, has it affected our bank balance already? Yes, because it's worth nothing and it did nothing to our bank balance. So it actually affected it correctly. It was worth 0 and it affected our bank side 0. So really our focus now turns back to the book side because we need to correct the mistake on the book side. So what do we need to do in order to match the bank balance? Well, we added it to begin with on the book side. So it's worth nothing on the bank, so we need to take it back out. So in order to do that, we're going to subtract the NSF check. So we'll say less NSF check for that amount. All right, so those are just, again, commonalities. There's many more that you can have under there, but these are the common ones. Once you're finished, then you're going to total these up, and you're going to find what's called the true cash balance. And the true cash balance is going to be the same for both, or at least you hope they're going to be the same for both, because that's what ultimately you want. Remember, we're bridging the gap between the two, so they must equal the bank side and the book side. Otherwise, you've done this incorrectly. That's step 1 of the bank reconciliation. The next step, this is the last thing we have to do, is the adjusting side. If an adjustment is made on the bank balance, so on the bank side, we do nothing. Once it's there, it's there. So these two things that we added right here on the bank side, once they're there, they're there. We don't do anything. We don't need to make an adjusted entry or anything because those are the things that's already on our books but not on the bank. Okay? Then we have the book side. If any adjustments or if an adjustment is made on the book balance, then an adjusting journal entry is required. So anything on the book side, those 4 things we added on the book side, those all have to have corresponding journal entries to correct them because those are the things that are not on the books yet. We need to put them on the books. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to do this from start to finish, bank reconciliation with the adjusting entries. Hopefully that'll make a little bit more sense to you once you get there. Other than that, you have a good one.